if you have a debt, you can write off the interest as tax deductible as an expense of doing
Mhm.
business. Okay. But the
Mhm.
interest would not be 450,000 on a $500,000 loan. So all I can figure is they're doing some kind of Section 179 write-off, which you can do in business, and I take that
Mhm.
in our business here. Um, but the problem is if the business fails, you still have the loan.
All right, Dave Ramsey takes a call that seems simple at first, but within minutes, the real financial mess starts coming into focus. Excuses get challenged, the bad decisions get exposed, and Dave Ramsey delivers the kind of blunt advice only he can give within tax strategies and from certain groups, making this insane reality check financially. Breaking it down on Debt Disaster Daily. Subscribe for more financial chaos. Guys, I know there's like at least 95% of you guys watching who have yet to be subscribed. So drop that sub button right now. Like the video. Let's jump in.
I have a financial dilemma, and I hope you can provide some direction on it. So, my wife and I are both 38 years old. We're blessed. We make, in the last 4 years, every year we made around $1.1 million with our W-2 and investment income. Now, since last 4 to 5 years, we are paying approximately $300,000 to IRS in taxes. So this year, I decided to consult with one of those tax advisory firms, and they recommended, hey, we can add you in some kind of a business program where you can take a debt of $550,000 and call it $85,000 as a initial investment, and then rest of that you can put that in tax write-off, and then you can claim you can deduct that from your overall tax payment from it. So I wasn't sure it's a good idea to take a debt to save taxes, so thought I should ask you.
Okay, the only
Yeah, that sounds a little sus right there.
write-off is the interest on the debt, correct?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much they were saying. Well, they were saying that if I'm taking a $550,000 worth of debt to invest in a business, I can use the $450,000 worth of money as a deduction as an investment in the company, as per a new Trump bill.
Okay. Do you own a business?
No, I don't, but they're saying they can add me as an investor. I have no idea what that business is as well. So
Okay.
that's why I was like, I have no idea about the business going to be. Is it going to be profitable or not? But they're claiming that hundreds of thousands of I paying taxpayers do that. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm not sure about it.
Okay. I'm sure run away from these people as fast as you possibly can. But let me, I'm going to guess at what they're trying to do because
Mhm.
I can't tell. Uh, Normally, if you own a business, you have a write-off. If you have a debt, you can write off the interest as tax deductible as an expense of doing
Mhm.
business. Okay, but the
Mhm.
interest would not be 450,000 on a $500,000 loan. So all I can figure is they're doing some kind of Section 179 write-off, which you can do in business, and I take that
Mhm.
in our business here. Um, but the problem is if the business fails, you still have the loan,
Yeah.
and you
Mhm.
got the write-off, but you've got the loan,
Right.
which means that. And so, another way of looking at this is if you had 550,000, would you invest $550,000 cash in this in order to get a $450,000 write-off? Well, obviously, then you have a net of $100,000 invested in a business that you don't know anything about. Well, we wouldn't even do that,
Right.
much less have the
Yeah.
debt around it. And so,
Mhm.
their explanation and their process. So let me backtrack just a minute. You're making incredible money. What are you doing for a living that's making this kind of money?
Yeah. So I'm a AI architect. So I
Okay.
enable AI.
Okay. Good for you. Well, awesome. I'm so happy. All right. So what
Thank you.
I learned, and I learned this as a young guy that was making the kind of money that you're making, And I ran into these people in the real estate world who were doing the similar things, and they all got burned and ended up bankrupt, and so did I. I didn't end up bankrupt for the same reason that these people are going to cause you to have problems. But here's the principle that I learned at the time. This was around real estate. It wasn't Section 179, which I think is what these guys are doing. I'm not positive where they're getting this kind of a write-off on only a $550,000 investment. It shouldn't be that big. But all I'm guessing is they've syndicated out the 179s. And so that's a complicated way of saying there's a write-off you can take in business, and they're giving you a portion of it.
Yeah, yeah. Even I get confused with the taxes. It's like they made it so complex on purpose. And I'll say that again. On purpose.
Probably putting,
Right.
that you and two other people or something in this. It's a limited placement thing. So now in the real estate business, what they did was the Ronald Reagan, that's how long ago it was, changed the tax laws to where we could take what used to be depreciate a piece of property over 30 years, and instead we could depreciate it over 15, and then we could use what's called double declining balance on and depreciate. You take the first year's depreciation and double it, and so you could put $5,000 down on a $35,000 condominium, okay, and you could end up writing off $15,000 that year. Is the way the numbers worked. And so people were doing this en masse, but guess what? The stupid condominiums wouldn't rent for enough then to support the debt. They ended up getting foreclosed on, and all of the tax savings got recalled back on the people. And so the lesson that I learned from that, which it's a little different deal than your deal, but the lesson I learned from that is never do a deal that doesn't make economic sense and only makes tax savings sense, because it's always going to bite you in the butt. It has to make economic sense, meaning if you're going to invest in the business, it's a good business investment and I get a tax write-off. Not it's a stupid, crazy business idea. I'm going to lose all my money in it, but I get a tax write-off. And I'm doing this just for the tax write-off. And that's what these guys are proposing to you, like my old real estate buddies did, and they got their heads taken off, all of them. And it was a massive bloodbath in real estate in the 80s over this. All the limited partnerships and syndications fell apart. I knew one guy had a $110 million net worth. He's bankrupt, gone, took him out. Wow. And it's this very principle they violated is they were doing deals just for the tax write-off that were bad deals. And what I smell here, and I'm a 99% sure, this is a really bad deal and a really good tax write-off. Run because these morons are morons, and they're going to give you other stuff like this to do.
Yeah.
And you might not be able to smell it. So you smelled this one. You could tell something was wrong, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So even I offered, hey, what if the business is going well, I can pay that debt off.
No.
No, you don't want to pay off the debt.
Yeah, you want to stay in debt.
Yeah, carry the debt.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Here's the basic.
Unless you can pull strings like Robert Kiyosaki, why the hell would you want to stay in debt? What? That's crazy.
Thing on that. If you have $100,000 in debt in interest payments, you can write $100,000 off. But writing it off means that you deduct it from your income. It doesn't mean you save $100,000 on taxes. It means you save 37% of $100,000 on taxes. So you put out $100,000 to the bank in interest, and it saves you $37,000 on taxes. Well, that's trading a dollar for a quarter. That's stupid on a sixth grade level. Okay? And so you never do that. If you're going to do that, just give a charity $100,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a pretty clear moral of the story for today is don't deal with dealers who are wanting to sink you in debt, but hey, you get that tax write-off, right? Yeah, you get that tax write-off. Yeah, makes sense. No, the business is going shit, but hey, you get to at least you get to write off the tax. It's like, what? I digress, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more financial chaos. This is Debt Disaster Daily. We're out.